All right, so this is going to be standard 651, which is the geography of ancient Rome. But we're going to start off with a spiral review back to another civilization. Raise your hand if you know why the population of the Greeks were lower than other civilizations. You think you know. Raise your hand if you think you know. You think you know. You think you know. Okay. The reason the population of the Greeks were lower than other civilizations, they didn't have as much farmland. Raise your hand if you know why. Good, right? Because of all the mountains. They had all those mountains. So their populations just weren't as big. What were the main two Greek city-states? Everybody knows that one, right? Athens and Sparta. What were the three seas of the Greeks? That's going to be rough for y'all to know that one. You know, it's Mediterranean, the Ionian, and the Aegean Sea. Who was the main enemy of the Greeks? Raise your hand if you know. Okay, right? Persians, right? Persians were the main enemy. And who was the first to unite all of the Greeks? Raise your hand if you know. Okay. Make sure we know it's not Alexander, right? It's his dad. It's his dad, Philip II. And this was done through warfare. He conquering through warfare. Good. Next. The geography of ancient Rome. This is Tennessee Standard 651. Might be a different standard wherever you are. Go ahead. So our head scratcher. How does civilization use their geography to their advantages? Raise your hand if you know some ways. Can't say anything, but how do we use geography to our advantage? Okay, good. Some of you should know some of that, right? You can use geography for protection. We know that the Chinese were protected on all sides by their geography. Deserts, mountains, oceans. You agree? Also, Mesopotamians used geography to their advantage. Those two rivers flooded and left fertile soil. Same with the Egyptians. You can always use the geography to your advantage. Next. So here is a map that we'll come back to later on in the weeks that we're going to study the Romans. This is everything that the Romans conquered. Guys, this is the whole world, basically. This is all of Europe, all of northern Africa, all of Egypt, and half of Mesopotamia. No, and if you turn right here, we'll have our standards kind of basically written down. No civilization or empire before or since controlled as much territory as the Greeks. Next. So this is the Italian peninsula. It looks like a boot kicking a football. It's easy to find. Okay? As we see other maps, it's going to be right here is going to be kind of where the Nile is, down here at the end of the Mediterranean. You'll be able to see it. Next. So here's the boot kicking the football. The Italian peninsula. Rome began on the Italian peninsula. It extends from Europe into the Mediterranean Sea. So here, if we look on our map here, here's where the Greeks were. Here's where the Romans were. They were very close. As a matter of fact, as we're going to learn about later, the Romans believed they were descended from the Greeks. Okay, because they like the Greeks. They're the ones who give Alexander the Great the title the Great. Next. Mountains. The northern part of the Italian peninsula is protected by the Alps, but it did not isolate them. People could cross these mountains, but it was not super easy. It protected them, but did not separate them. Like in China and India, those mountains separated those people, but not here. Go back up. The lower mountains throughout the rest of Italy, you're going to have here, but they do not serve as a barrier for any unity. All the Italians were able to be connected, even though they had some mountains. Next. The seas, south, east, and west, were surrounded by seas. We know that a peninsula is a strip of land surrounded on three sides by water. It provided protection, it aided for transportation and trade, and also provided a good source of food, right? Like the Greeks, they're going to get a lot of fish from the sea. Next. Rome. City of Rome was built along the Tiber River on 7 hills. The hills provided protection. The rivers allowed goods to be brought down the river to the Mediterranean Sea. Was located midway between the Alps and the southern tip of Italy. So Rome was in a very good location. It had some protection because of the 7 hills. It had plenty of fresh water because of the river. It had easy access to the Mediterranean Sea because of the river. And it was right slap in the middle. Next. So here's kind of ancient Rome built on these seven hills. Next. Here's Rome again later. It becomes something very impressive. We're going to talk way more about the Roman Colosseum, probably one of the most famous structures in the world today. Next. Rome, its strategic location made it a prime city for trade. If you see, it's right in the middle, but it's near to the sea. Allowed Rome to expand and have access to all the Mediterranean Sea. Next. Here's another site of Rome. This is in later years. You know that because they have something called the Hippodrome. It's a racetrack. They love racing. Next. There's Rome today. Major city. Next. There's more of Rome today. The geography of Rome. Next. There are 5 important geographic attributes or features that contributed to the growth of the ancient Roman civilization. Next. Number 1 was the Italian peninsula. Remember, a peninsula is an area of land surrounded on 3 sides by water, and the Italian peninsula looks like the cowboy boot kicking a football. Next. This gave the people easy access to trade with other civilizations. Go back up. This is Sicily and Italy. This is Africa. This is how close they were to Africa. Next. Next again. Major rivers. Next. 3 major rivers, the Po, the Arno, and the Tiber rivers. They provided inland areas with access to the sea. So here's the Tiber River in Rome today. Next again. Number 3, they had fertile soil and a mild climate. Farmers were able to produce a surplus of crops. Everybody know what a surplus is, right? It's one of our words. Surplus means extra, which could be traded. At the northern border of Italy are the Alps Mountains. They offer protection from invaders from the north. We're going to talk way more about invaders from the north as we get towards the end of studying Rome. Next. So did you get it? Everybody know what the largest sea in the world is? Hand up if you know. All right, Mediterranean Sea. What does the Italian peninsula look like? Raise your hand if you know. Looks like a cowboy boot kicking a football. What protected the Romans in the north? Mountains, good. Did the mountains in the Italian peninsula prevent them from unifying? No. And was Rome located in a good spot? Absolutely. Did Rome have good soil for growing food? Yeah, they sure did. All right, good. As we say in my class, go forth and learn because knowledge is power.